Hey guys, Ken Scott, Senior U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with www.usentryWaiverServices.com. And guys, before I get into this, I'm going to put this on vibrate. But you guys are well aware that quite often when I'm doing these videos, this thing is constantly going off. So anyway, today's title, I wrote it down here. It's going to be on Waiver Services Want to Trick You. Here's the honest way. So guys, basically what happened, I got a call from a very, very good friend of mine, someone I highly respect. And long story short, a Toronto lawyer essentially was trying to scam the guy into signing up for a waiver. And because my brother intervened to try to, look out for his buddy, the lawyer didn't like it. So I don't want to bore you guys with the conversation, but the gist of it was the lawyer was trying to, well, of course, trying to make a sale, but also wanted to told the guy something to the effect that let me know what you had before you file so I can take a look at it. So guys, what that lawyer was doing, he's trying to reverse engineer what I'm gonna say what we have to offer because we're very well known in this industry and we're known to be the epitome resolving these border cases. And I told you guys a lot of these discount waiver companies and lawyers keep trying to reverse engineer the stuff we do. And sure enough, it was just my brother just verified it. That happened today. It was maybe an hour and a half ago. But now the thing is, regarding what we talked about, waiver services, they want to trick you. I'm going to show you how they trick you, or I'll show you as much as I can. All right, guys. So what they want to do, let's say you're Joe Smith and you own Batman's Pardons and Waivers, and you're in the city of Toronto. City of Toronto is full of scam waiver lawyers and waiver companies. So you, in a sense, have to quasi scam and also in order to survive. So out there, it's like a dog eat dog business. So if you got a location in downtown Toronto, anywhere in Toronto, you want to survive, people are calling. First thing you got to do is when a person calls, you got to fill them out. So you kind of have to, I'll say feel out. Feel out. So part of terrible handwriting. So you got to fill out the client or the potential client. First of all, you got to fill out if they're serious, and you got to fill out if they can afford to pay. So one of the scams they do out there, they'll quote a ridiculously low number just to get your business, and people will say, "Oh, okay, that sounds great." They don't realize that ridiculous low number is low for a reason. You get virtually fuck all for it. You do your own letters of reference. You do your own research. You do your own write-ups. In a lot of cases, you get your own court files, whatever. All they do is basically very minimal amount. So they want to feel you out to see if you got the money to pay. And then within, I'll say 3 to 5 minutes, no more than 10, they're going to pressure you for a credit card. With that credit card, they're going to lock you in. Then once you're locked in, they can start taking money from you for like a admin fee, court search file fee, handling fee, all a bunch of BS fees just to nickel and dime you. That's how they do it. And they can stretch their process out over a year. And then after a year, you're like, well, what the hell did I pay for? And either they don't answer the phone or the stuff they've given you is already expired and tell you that you have to do it again. You have to do it again. Second, another thing, expedited waiver application. Guys, there's no such thing as an expedited waiver application at DHS. DHS/CBP. It does not exist for these non-immigrant waivers. It is a scam. It's a cash grab. What they'll tell some people is they'll say something like, you pay us extra, and we'll basically put your application on top of someone else's or higher on the food chain. That's also bullshit, guys, because their volume as it is usually very low. So how much higher are they going to make you? Another way to get money. And oh, the eSafe scam. eSafe basically, first of all, there's two ways to submit a U.S. entry waiver. The first way is with paper, which is what we do. So essentially, the documents are prepared. We have you go down to the borders we deal with. Oh, wait a minute. There, that we deal with. Drop the documents, pay the government fee at 1,100 or 1,175, depending upon your situation. Then you head out. It's been done that way since at least the 70s. It's foolproof. And you get your decision right now that they're averaging 12 months, whether it's eSafe or paper. When you go down to that port of entry with your documents, let's say this is your waiver packet, it'll be much thicker. You go down there, the officer himself will upload your documents to the database, to the portal. So they still can upload it, but just by him. Now, some of these officers are lazy. And I'll call them out, they're lazy. So they'll tell you, oh, just don't worry, just do it's faster. That's straight bullshit. It's not faster. Because whether you upload it, let's say you're on this side, you upload it or he uploads it, it's getting uploaded to the database. It's not any faster. And what these lawyers are telling people, and I mean, some waiver companies, they say, oh, you have to be a lawyer to use eSafe. That's straight bullshit too. Because the way the eSafe portal is set up, it's two methods of logging on. It's the one for the lawyer and one for like the non-lawyer, like the individual. Let's say this person. So Joe Smith can log on this way, or the lawyer is here. So the waiver companies, what they do or can do, and I might be giving them a tip by saying this, but whatever, they can actually log on under his umbrella and do all that uploading. They can totally ignore this side. The waiver company, and I know you waiver companies probably giving you a tip or whatever. You can log on using the second one as opposed to the lawyer side. And all that stuff you can upload yourself. And it says on there, they want to know who prepared the application. That's when the waiver company can just put themselves down as the preparer. So that lawyer says, oh, waiver companies cannot do it. That's bullshit. Yes, they can. And yeah, I just gave the discount waiver companies a free tip. That's fine. It's what it is. So when these lawyers tell you that, that's straight bullshit. Anyone can do it. Even you, Joe Smith, can do it yourself when he's safe. In terms of like submitting the documents, you don't have to have a lawyer. And a lot of these lawyers, guys, they don't know what they're doing. Me being a former federal officer and former law enforcement officer, previously posted in Washington State, we know this stuff like the back of our hands. Not to mention the fact that I myself, I have the DHS regs and manuals that they use at CBP. And when updates come out, I can still get them. But I have a lot of friends who still work there in the US government. Some work at DHS, some work in different other agencies. I don't want to spend too much time on that because I don't want to get them in any kind of trouble. But let's just say we get the latest material, and I'll leave it at that. And, oh, pressure. So what they do, they try to close you as quickly as possible on the phone. They put pressure on you. And what's that thing called? Not fear of losing out. What's it called? Fear of, I think it's called fear of losing out. But whatever. Anyway, a lot of people, especially Zeds, have this thing called, I think it's called fear of losing out, fear of missing out, fear of, yeah, FOMO, fear of missing, I think it's out. Yeah, fear of missing out. You guys need to get out of that. You guys don't live your lives like that. Fear of missing out. You're not missing anything. And these waiver companies, they're going to do that. They're going to use that FOMO, fear of missing out. They're going to use that tactic on you to try to get your business. You fall prey to that. All they need from you is your credit card. And that's why you guys got to be careful, because you get these credit cards out willy-nilly, it could definitely come back and bite you. It bit me. Actually, I had to get my credit card done because I'm mostly a cash guy as it is. And they even got me, not the waiver company, but these online hackers. So it must have been a store I used my credit card in because I don't really shop online. I very rarely use it in stores. So somehow or another, they got my card. Yeah, I just got a new one yesterday. So all they need from you guys is a credit card and they start billing stuff like, periodically. So what they try to do is get like a group of you guys and where they can like periodically bill like $50 here, 100 here, 124 here, 70 here. And they combine all it together to try to bring income in. And you guys are like, well, what are you doing for me? They give you all kind of fish stories, all kind of this, that. My dog was sick, Jim is on vacation, etc. And a year later, whatever, you guys say, what did I pay for? In fact, I got to call a person back now, and I don't know if I should talk about this person's situation or not, but what I will say, this person is not a Canadian citizen. And then this person used she felt prey used commissionaires for these waivers. I'm going to say that, how can I say this? I will say they didn't do anything and she didn't get her money back. I'll say it like that, according to what she's told me. So the thing is, this person's not a Canadian citizen. So I told her yesterday, I said, how could they have done waiver applications in the plural sense for you? You're not even a Canadian citizen. And she didn't know what to say. In fact, I probably should call her in a few minutes. So I told her I'd call her right back. So I don't want to say it's a scam, but you have to be a Canadian citizen in order to submit this I-182 at this port of entry or through eSafe. Same thing happened to another guy in Ontario. He's a citizen of another country, a Caribbean country. And he came in here and he was about to pay us like 4K. He had the money counted out. And I said, okay, looks good, looks good. But then I found out he's not a Canadian citizen. And I said, bro, I can't take your money. You're not a Canadian citizen. We can't submit this. He was devastated. He got ripped off in Ontario, go figure, waiver company and a lawyer. So he reached over and started pulling all the money away. It's like similarly how it did. So it's kind of like it was all laid out here, like that in front of me. And then if I'm him and I'm with discussing it, he's like, really? Oh, for real? Oh man, he started doing like this, pulling it back. And you know what? It is what it is. We don't rip anyone off. But I said, bro, there's nothing we can do for you. You're not a Canadian citizen. And the thing is with that is you have, but these I-182 waivers. Yeah, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's a good one. Non-Canadian citizen. Let's say you're a Canadian citizen. You were born and raised in Germany. You need a U.S. entry waiver because you got a conviction in Vancouver for stealing a car. So, because you got that conviction, you're inadmissible to the USA, whether you're Canadian, German, or from the moon. Doesn't matter. So, if you're a Canadian citizen, yes, we can do the I-192. You can do the I-192. Pretty much anyone can do the I-192. If you are not a Canadian citizen, then you need the U.S. visa because you don't qualify for the ESTA. So you need the U.S. visa. You got to go through the U.S. visa process, and that's a whole different topic. And an embassy officer, at their discretion, they decide if they will do the U.S. waiver application for you on your behalf. They take care of it. If that officer says, yes, I will do it, then they submit the waiver application, then you wait, because it's part of the visa application. If that officer says, no, I'm not submitting anything for you, then you are stuck. There's nothing you can do. You can always reapply for a visa, but if that next officer doesn't feel like doing it, you are stuck. It's what it is. I didn't make the rules. So if that happens, I don't know what to tell you. You're, like I said, you're basically stuck. So don't let these waiver companies tell you that they can do a waiver for you if you are not a Canadian citizen. They cannot. They can't do it. Only the embassy can do it at their discretion. So I hate to use the word scam, but I'll say she got taken badly, more than one time. I'm going to say 3 or 4 times. Same with the guy I just told you in Ontario, the one guy had the 4K, he got taken. And that company, I know what city they're in, but I don't want to say it. I'd rather him come here and say it. So anyway, guys, these are the 5 areas you can kind of keep an eye on. Don't fall prey to being told what you want to hear to get your money. Ken Scott, Senior U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst for www.usentryWaiverServices.com, and that's 888-908-3841 or 604-562-8140. And guys, what we can do for you is, well, first of all, if you don't qualify for the waiver, I will tell you straight up, you don't qualify, and here's what it is. But what we can do for you, based upon your past, this is your past. We can do this. Now, your past is gone in a sense of being able to enter the USA. So you having the waiver results in this, a clean slate. Temporary clean slate, but clean slate nonetheless. So after 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, as you know, waivers are generally good for between 1 and 5 years. Well, sometimes they can be issued for 6 months. So generally between 6 months and 5 years, you got this. So you get a 5-year waiver. After 5 years, if I could just go backwards, it reappeared again. Essentially, it's like The Walking Dead. It got reanimated. Anyway, Ken Scott, Senior U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst for www.usentryWaiverServices.com. Give us a call. We can sort you out quite proper. And again, stop believing these discount waiver companies and now these lawyers, because a lot of them don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're trying to rip you guys off, especially out there in Ontario. And I'm out. Have a great day.